Just as the Tokyo Motor Show was getting underway late last week, another firestorm of controversy engulfed Japan's car industry. While the event doors were opening to the public on Friday as yet another typhoon tracked towards the capital city, Subaru became the second Japanese carmaker after Nissan to announce it was recalling cars having admitted to lapses in its vehicle inspection process. Both manufacturers allowed uncertified staff to carry out final quality checks of finished vehicles. Now, to get over such a scandal in Japan, your CEO first has to apologize profusely in front of the country's media. Next, you have to get your act together regarding reliability and ensure you officially certify staff for final vehicle inspections, and then, you must offer cars with looks and performance that have the ability to draw buyers back to showrooms. The concept car Subaru revealed at this year's Tokyo Motor Show may have the ability to do just that. Having seen all of the carmakers' concepts over the past 2 decades or so, I would have to say that the Viziv Performance Concept is the most stylish and best-looking Subaru concept I've ever seen. This 4-door sports sedan is a stunner. From its 3-dimensional grille to the Hawkeye headlights to its muscular rally car-inspired wide, low stance and flared rear fenders, the purposeful proportions of the Viziv Performance Sedan are what we've been waiting for from the 4WD specialist maker. At last, Subaru has penned a concept body with a street cred worthy of the brand's signature turbocharged boxer engines, industry-leading 4WD system and class-topping handling. Because that's exactly what will power this concept, according to one Subaru staffer I spoke to. While the company remained tight-lipped about the car's particulars, it did mention that we could expect to see the concept get a boxer engine and 4-wheel drive. And importantly, it will sit on the safety award-winning Subaru global platform that will underpin every Subaru model for the next decade. Oh, and it will definitely be fitted with a turbocharger if that hood scoop is not just for show. So what are we looking at here? When pushed for answers as to whether this was the next generation WRX, my Subaru contact just tilted his head and said, "HMMM, no comment." But when you look at the car's size, the fact that it's a 4-door and has such muscular 4WD dimensions, plus a telltale hood scoop, well, it's hard to imagine this design going anywhere else. Subaru needs a high-performance good-looker like this in its lineup more than it realizes. Being bluntly honest, this year's Viziv concept certainly looks a lot more stylish and ready for the road than the WRX concept that was unveiled at the 2013 New York International Auto Show. For my part, that car was almost as impactful as this new Viziv concept but had no real-world application. Back in 2013, Subaru bosses hinted that certain design cues from the New York car would find their way onto the future WRX. Expletive. That did not happen. Zilch. Not one edge, not one curve from the WRX concept made it onto the current WRX or even Impreza for that matter. I truly hope they have different plans for this latest concept. If Subaru is to dig itself out of this scandal, then one thing it will need to do is to quickly turn this spectacular-looking concept around, get it onto the next generation WRX and rush it into showrooms. I just hope they employ a certified checker to greenlight the finished cars first. And quick smart guys with blistering performance behind their plain Jane looks, affordably priced Japanese sport compacts like the Subaru WRX and Mitsubishi Evo have long helped San Fernando Valley, California bad boys blow the toupees off Porsche driving dentists once the lights turn green. Though the Evo is no more, Subaru's Viziv Performance Concept that made its debut at the 2017 Tokyo Motor Show indicates that the WRX's styling shortcoming is about to change. Sure, as news editor Connor Golden pointed out recently, Subaru has teased us before and failed to deliver. But Subaru has begun to coin cash far beyond its traditional snow tire and Birkenstock niche markets. And as a Subaru representative told me a few years back, we badly want SoCal. So, my bet is that the Subaru Viziv Performance Concept is coming to production. And here are 5 things that struck me about it. 1. The face, aggressive yet elegant. At first glance, I was tempted to dismiss it as Mustang derivative. But after seeing weird Halloween mask attempts at facial aggression in the same hall, like the Mitsubishi E-Evolution concept and the Lexus LS Plus, I began to appreciate the elegant geometry at Subaru. If you've got good bones, you'll never need a facelift. 2. What were they aiming for? Subi says its design direction was dynamic X solid, which is apparent in the sharply flared front fenders, sleekly sculpted waist, and chunky hips at the back that lend an element of booty to the butt. With the 2011 Impreza, Subaru engineers and designers went through contortions to move the A-pillar forward an inch or so to create a larger glass surface and more spacious interior feeling. Looks like this has been incorporated in the Viziv. 3. Safe at any speed. Subaru made sure to play down the boy racer image, stressing that the Viziv is about enjoyment and peace of mind. In other words, safety. So there was lots of talk about its rigid body structure and eyesight driver assist technology. 4. But will it go, and corner 2? After exhausting his safety spiel and stressing this is a design and not a performance concept, what the Subaru rep finally said roughly translates as, "Don't worry, we'll give it guts to match its looks." Say, a low center of gravity turbocharged boxer power plant that generates over 300 horsepower along with symmetrical AWD. 5. Is that a rocket thruster on the back, or what? Below the back bumper, smack dab in the middle and flanked either side by twin girly-looking exhaust pipes are 3 glowing red hexagonal rings. Perspective makes it seem like they lead deep into the car's fiery bells, but what are they? Subaru explained that's a rear fog lamp but also a design element. I like it. So while other manufacturers are busy coming up with autonomous technology, new batteries, or constantly improving the 0 to 60 acceleration time, Nissan has introduced a new ringtone that its future electric vehicles will use. Yes, we're well aware this was probably only a side project Nissan gave one of its interns while the rest of the company works on the more important stuff like the ProPilot semi-autonomous system and the future EVs that would hopefully be a little more competitive than the 2018 Nissan Leaf. Despite its underwhelming specs compared to the current market trends, the new electric hatchback has reportedly already garnered over 9,000 firm orders during the first 2 months from its launch. That's far from Tesla Model 3's several hundreds of thousands in a similar time frame, but the difference is these people are actually going to receive their cars before their kids grow old. At the Tokyo Motor Show, while unveiling the IMX electric concept, Nissan made another announcement. The company introduced the public to Kanto, the future sound of Nissan's electrified vehicles. Note they used the word electrified, meaning we should expect some plug-in hybrids to come along the pure EVs that the new Leaf is supposed to spring. The silent nature of electric cars has long been brought into discussion, claiming it could be dangerous for pedestrians in the crowded urban areas. Used to hearing the vehicles, some people might not turn to look if there's any vehicle coming and cross the road relying strictly on their hearing. That's why the Opel Ampera Chevrolet Volt, to give one example, had to separate horns, one used for the vehicles, and a softer one, imitating the sound made by the first vehicles a century ago that would be used to warn the oblivious pedestrians about the vehicle's approach. Nowadays, some countries require EVs to emit a constant sound at lower speeds, which is where they are the most silent. Nissan's Kanto is active at up to 20 or 30 km per hour, depending on the legal requirements in every specific market. Nissan says the sound level will be clearly audible, without being overly disturbing to pedestrians, residents, and passengers, but after listening to it, we suspect a lot of people nearby are going to reach for their phones only to be greeted by a black screen, which might prove pretty disturbing.
It's easy to forget that Nissan makes a good, old-fashioned rear-wheel drive sports car, with its ever-increasing lineup of SUVs, electric vehicles and minuscule micros. However, If you head to your local dealer and peer into a darkened corner somewhere, you might catch a glimpse of the lesser spotted 370Z. Nissan's naturally aspirated 323 bhp 3.7-liter V6 engine thrill machine that first landed on our roads way back in 2009. Gas-guzzling, emissions-emitting rear-wheel drive sports cars might not be the flavor du jour, but the Japanese marque has seen fit to refresh its shapely performance car and drag it into 2018. A new look gives it black door handles and a black rear bumper fascia, dark tinted headlamps and rear combination lights, all previously only available on the Nismo upgrade but now come as standard. New 19-inch alloy wheels are also thrown in, as well as a stunning new infrared metallic paint option that brilliantly shows off the Z's flared arches and swooping waistline. The car might be approaching a decade old, but it still stands out in a crowd, while the addition of a new, race-ready Exetti clutch means it drives better than it ever has. Couple this lightweight transmission with Nissan's throttle blipping rev-matching technology, and you've got an extremely enjoyable machine, especially on track. Thankfully, little else has changed. The engine delivers the same amount of grunt, the suspension remains firm but forgiving, and the chassis still feels properly sorted. Inside, there's the new Nissan Connect Premium infotainment system, which features a 7-inch touchscreen, sat-nav, DVD player and rear-view camera, but really this is still the cracking driver's car we know and love. Admittedly, the advent of the hyper hatches, which boast devastating performance and everyday practicality for a similar price, means the 370Z has got a bit of a battle with its fresh-faced rivals. But this remains a lot of sports car for the money, and one of the best-looking things in a Nissan dealership, even if they do try and hide it away in a darkened corner.